There's so many triggers going off. We have found the aristocrats portion of the deck. Spine of Isha. Please shoot the Goblin Bombardment. Yeah, there you go. Okay. We're gonna do a couple sacks here.
Today on Commander Replay, we check out this Garna Zombie Goblins list and ask the question, can we make dual tribes work? Find out next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, there's two great ways to support the channel. All links are in the description below.
Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Garna Bloodfist of Keld today. And today's deck comes from Patreon supporter Zeno. And Zeno has been waiting a very long time for this deck, so my apologies to Zeno. But I was supposed to build a list for them, but they went ahead and built one, so now I'm playing the list that they built. But it did sound like they wanted some help looking over their list, so that's a thing we're going to be doing today. Ooh, this hand. It's got lands, but not much else. The value in this deck definitely seems like a struggle. I'm going to mulligan, even though maybe we should be keeping that one. This is okay-ish. I'll feel better if we draw a couple lands off the top. Keep this one. Decree of Pain is about the farthest thing from a land. Play the Dragon Skull Summit, pass the turn. So this is a really interesting list. Basically, it's Zombie Goblins. We saw Dralnu's Crusade was in our first hand. It's interesting because we're split between goblins and we're split between zombies. So essentially we're playing dual tribe, which I would say is like normally not recommended, but it's certainly an interesting challenge to take on. Surgical Skull Bomb. Interesting. Another land is good. Play the mountain. I think we start whacking away with the 2/2. Pass like that. Opponent's going to cycle a land. So let's go back to taking a look at this deck. So this deck's interesting. Like many tribal decks, it's kind of overloaded at 3. That just happens with tribal decks. It's a hard thing to avoid. Whenever you're ooh, Kami of the Crescent Moon is beautiful because card draw is also lacking in this deck. So I'm very happy about that. But yeah, tribal decks in general, usually loaded up on 3 drops, 4 gets crowded, 5 gets crowded. It just, when they print good tribal creatures, they all tend to be at 3, 4, and 5 a lot of the time. So when that's the case, that means that you want to try to get your other powerful effects from other CMCs where possible. So in the case of a deck like this where there's a whole bunch of 3 drops, and if I have the choice between a card draw spell at 3 mana or a slightly better card draw spell at 4 mana, I'm almost always going to go with the 4 mana one or maybe even the 5 mana one if 5's not too crowded, right? For a deck like this, like Moonlight Bargain or Promise of Power, something like that, I would probably run with just to kind of, offload the 3 CMC slot a little bit. That's always been kind of my approach to how to handle tribal decks. We draw another land. Actually, we have a bunch of lands now. It's not terrible, although they're mostly red. We do not have double black yet, unfortunate, but we will play this Goblin Bombardment. Who do we have for commanders at the table? Ovika. Tekuthal. Oh, God. Proliferate twice? Disgusting. Let's attack that deck. That seems like a good deck to attack. Oh, it's going to crack a spell bomb, draw a card. Yep. Swing into Delta Fiend. And we'll pass like that after they take the hit. Back to looking at this deck. So the next thing is, I think we definitely want a Maskwood Nexus in here because we're doing a dual tribe thing. So that just seems like it makes sense. Midnight Clock for opponent. That's very early. They are definitely going to get to use that Midnight Clock. Are there any changeling cards? Not the creatures, the spells. That Blades of Velis Vel. 2 creatures gain all creature types. That's not the worst thing I've ever heard of. Nameless Inversion takes creature types away. Definitely have that Maskwood Nexus, though. I mean, I might consider a Rune Stalactite. Do I not have one? I spelled it wrong. There it is. Yeah, a quick creature gets every creature type. There's the, I think it's, what is it? Amorphous Axe does the same thing. I like this one just because, well, the axe makes it bigger, which is cool. This one is just cheaper to cast and equip, which is nice. Something like this could be very helpful for this deck, but the main thing when I was looking through this is that there were about 36 creatures when I started looking at the list, and I think that's just a little too high, honestly. The deck had like almost no ramp in it. I added Soul Ring, Signet, Mind Stone, other Signet, also these 2 monuments. I like the monuments. I think they're just going to be very good. So, like, there was, like, no ramp in this deck. I think I added the black market, too. So, whenever a deck doesn't perform the way you want it to, many times, it's because you don't have enough ramp removal or card draw. And I've seen them play this deck a few times over the past couple weeks, and I did notice that they were like missing land drops and just behind and like not having a lot to do. And all of that comes down to ramp removal, card draw. That's always kind of the trifecta. If something's not working, check those 3 things first. In the case of this deck, there's some other stuff going on too. The fact that we're dual tribe means that until you get like late in the game and you have your Maskwood Nexus, like you're probably going to feel like you're getting pulled in 2 different directions. Beyond that, I noticed there was some stuff like Elemental Mastery and, what was the one? Hainware Garrison was in here. Like, I cut Hainware Garrison to make room for some of the ramp, and just like, I get that they make tokens, but those tokens aren't a supported creature type of the other two that we're running. So, and here's an Endrixar, same sort of thing. It's great at making tokens, and I'm not saying necessarily cut it. I think this is much better than Hainware Garrison for this type of deck, but I feel like there's a few too many strategies going on, and I think the main thing there is you're going to want to focus this deck in on one thing just a little bit more. But it does depend on, like, what you want to do with it. If it's just supposed to be like kind of a fun, silly deck that doesn't need to be the most high power thing ever, then yeah, you can deal with some imperfection in the sense that, like, yeah, maybe it is going to feel a little awkward for 5 or 6 turns, but you know, maybe around turn 8 or 9, things start to shape up a little bit. That's totally reasonable, right? I can get down with that. So from what I've seen so far, my main advice is, like, focus it up a little bit. Depending on where you want to play this deck determines, like, how much you need to focus it. Like, if you need it to be as strong as possible, I would definitely just cut down to one tribe and focus in that way. But again, I do like the unique factor that we have this dual tribe and kind of presents an interesting challenge that we need to try to solve, so I think it's cool. Tekuthal, Inquiry Dominus, Phyrexian Horror. Yeah, we'll give it a read since we're talking about it. It's a 4-mana 3/5 with flying. Ew, gross. If you would proliferate twice instead. Pay 3, remove 3 counters from among other artifacts, creatures, planeswalkers you control, put an indestructible counter on it. Yeah, that seems good. Seems very good. I haven't really checked out too much of this cycle yet. I think I ordered a red one in paper. I would very much like to play the red. I'd like to play all of them. They're all pretty cool, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. What's the green one do? I don't remember. I'm looking at the blue one. I can remember the red one and the white one. Of the 3 that I can remember, those seem pretty cool. Seem like fun cards. Are they too strong? I don't know. I have to see. Probably, but I don't know if they necessarily needed to put, like, indestructible counters built in. That's a pretty crazy effect. I don't know if you need to have, like, built-in protection to go with those effects, and does seem like a bit much. There's a Signet. Midnight Clock continuing to trigger. It's getting there. Goblin King. And a Swamp. Finally, a second Swamp. Definitely want that. Let's cast our commander. How many does this thing die at? 7 mana value. So this will be 4. So we get to make 4 thralls, excuse me. Which is pretty good with this Goblin Bombardment out there. What's this thing do? Goblins gain 1/0 and haste until end of turn. I was really strongly thinking about sacrificing this during the attack, but I'm gonna wait because I think we can do that next turn with the tokens. Light Poke into Zombie. So we've talked about this. I mean, it's going to be some sort of proliferate deck. Oh god, with that, yeah, that's going to go off super quick. I imagine as mono blue, there'll probably be some interesting stuff that, like, doesn't make its way into Atraxa, just because, like, Atraxa being 4 color, there's a lot of competition for each slot, so we might find some cool, weird stuff to proliferate. I don't know what kind of nonsense they got in there. We do have a Karn's Bastion. In the middle, we've got Kana piloting Kami of the Crescent Moon. I have to wonder if they're going to try and mill us out. The versions of Kami that you usually see are, like, mill you to death or counterspell you to death, historically. I don't know what they've got going, but they got a Solemn Simulacrum, and the card draw is helping us a lot, because, like I said, this deck is pretty light on the card draw. I think it does lean on the commander pretty heavily to get that card draw. That's another thing, too. We're missing sack outlets. Like, we're a heavy token deck with a deck that kind of cares about aristocracy stuff. More sack outlets is going to be a good idea. Not a lot of mountains at the table. I think that's one, but 2 mono blue decks, not going to be the most helpful with this Goblin King. Font of Mythos. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Commence the Silliness Sapphire Medallion. Gonna group hug us to death. Kami and Font of Mythos. You guys ever play Owling Mine? That was a deck back in the day. Wouldn't be surprised if Ebony Owl of Netsuke shows up here. Classic Magic decks. With a strategy like this, part of the key is that, like, your opponents aren't playing super strong decks, because if they are, and you're just feeding them cards, it's not going to be good. The game's probably going to be over, and it's probably not going to feel. 3 players aren't going to have a super good time as a result of it, so. Liberator, Urza's Battlethopter, yeah, flash flying, artifact and colorless spells have flash. Whenever you cast a spell, if the amount of mana was greater, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Yep, this thing's still ticking up, probably about to go off. It's on 11. We're gonna draw too many cards. Pitiless Plunder, it gives us a way to make mana, which is good. What do we got? Conspicuous Snoop. Play the top card of your library. You may cast goblins from the top of your library. Ooh, Elemental Mastery. I've always wanted to use this card. I'm pretty sure I have one in a box or a binder somewhere. So even if it's not the best play, I'm probably just going to try to get this in because it seems cool. What is going to happen, though, is this will die when we cast the Pitiless Plunder. I guess we just have to be okay with that. Yeah, I think we're just going to have to be okay with that. We don't really need card draw, do we? We could just sack some of these guys. That's a thing that we could do. Yeah, let's do that. Maybe, yeah, we should probably keep the Endrixar alive. Sacrifice the Thrall. Shoot the Solemn Simulacrum. Do it again. So we're going to do 2 damage each of our opponents. We'll do 2 damage to the Solemn. They draw a card. Play the Swamp, play the Pitiless Plunderer. Endrixar will trigger. We get a bunch more Thralls. Yeah, Endrixar is crazy. This is a crazy Magic card. Try not to, like, hamper people too much. Might take down this Tezzeret right here. Opponent's gonna put an indestructible counter on their thing. Oh, man. Like, it seems really yeah, I mean, because we're gonna have to sacrifice more stuff anyway, so start sacrificing these things. There's so many triggers going off. We have found the Aristocrats portion of the deck. I don't even know how many we're at anymore. Probably let a couple of these resolve. All right, sacrifice our last one to kill this thing. Now we have mana because we found both the Pitiless Plunderer and the I guess the other one's not in play yet, but yeah, Pitiless Plunder is an insane Magic card, so is Pawn of Ulamog. Wait, did it already have one? Huh, well, that was all for nothing. What's next? Cast a creature spell. Okay, let's get the Pawn of Ulamog, make a bunch more Thralls, and then because I really want to, although, we should probably wait a turn to see if opponents are going to wipe the board before dropping the Elemental Mastery. Let's do that. Let's wait a turn. Do we have any attacks? Yeah, we can poke around a little bit. Big blocker over there. Can't do much of that. Start the attacking. Oh, what does this say? Oh, we make another Goblin. How about that? Well, we'll go in here, I guess. I will say this deck it's going off much faster than I thought this game was going to go. We found the Soul Ring. We found the Pitiless Plunderer. And we're being fed cards at an alarming rate. Opponent. Nope, they're back down to 9 on this thing. Opponents took some life loss and all of that, too. They're at 24, 23, 28. Ooh, yeah, plays an Ever-Flowing Chalice. This is actually going to give me some ideas. So, I want to build Ashling Proliferate. Because I think you can do it now. I think there's enough cards that support Proliferate in mono red. There aren't a ton of them, but there's a few. Staff of Completion's a new one that helps a lot. So I want to build Ashling Proliferate, and definitely going to want cards like this. Picked up an Astral Cornucopia. No counters on this yet. Actually, does this use counters? Gain the next level. I don't know if that gets counters or not. Oh, they double it? Yeah, Everflowing Chalice to 3. Now it's a Thran Dynamo. That's pretty good. Someone is going to need some removal for our board state. We have too much stuff happening. Or they could just drop a Cage Sun. Someone's definitely going to need removal, though. Because the problem now is that, like, we have so many bodies that even if we just sack out our board with this and that, that's so much damage. Draws a bunch of cards. Field of Ruin. This will probably be a keystone in the Ashling deck, too. Expedition map for it. That's like that is a reasonably easy one to tutor for, because tutoring in mono red, kind of terrible. One thing I want to talk about before this game gets too out of control. If the plan is to be attacking a lot with this deck, and I'm not sure, then you need to support your tokens a little bit better. There are a decent number of lords in here. You are going to need ways to pump them up. 1/1s by themselves usually don't get that much done unless you really have a lot of them. I don't think this deck is going to make that many most of the time. Now, if you turn them into like 3/3s or something like that, Shared Animosity, although Shared Animosity is a little weird because of the dual thing, but maybe it's a card you think about. But finding a way to pump your stuff up, make it bigger, is going to be huge. White does that a lot better than black and red does it in tokens. This Meteor Golem is going to be a really good idea. Goblin Bombardment. I would shoot the Goblin Bombardment. Zombies got the most life. Sacrifice the Endrixar. This card's too strong. It's just too strong. This card will beat you in the right deck. I like Endrixar, but I think they really got to shoot that Goblin Bombardment. It's got a clause on it that gets itself killed at some point. Also, it's a creature, so it's just more likely to get blown away in a board wipe or whatever. Opponents haven't really shown that they're playing tons of removal yet. Hard board wipes in blue. There aren't as many. You're probably looking at more of the colorless options, but Zombies got some red, so there's plenty in red. And we're all drawing a lot of cards, so Spine of Isha. Please shoot the Goblin Bombardment. Yeah, there you go. Okay. We're going to do a couple sacks here. Are we? I kind of like this board that we have going. We could kill Zombies Commander. We could kill the Kami, but it's supposed to be a lower power game, and we kind of got out to a pretty good start. So I know we could be more brutal with that Goblin Bombardment right there, but try to let opponents do at least a little bit. Maybe we can fool around with some other stuff like this Elemental Mastery, which I am way too excited about. We continue to draw way too many cards. Cardor. Oh man, Cardor is so nasty. This is when we can make Thrall tokens, sacrifice a creature. If you do, draw 2 cards and draw another card if it was a commander. Okay. Let's play a land. I think it's Elemental Mastery time. Let's get Elemental Mastery going. Let's not use a black man. Well, we have treasures. Should be okay. Tap this for some elementals. Oh, I'm excited about this. We get 4. What are we even doing? We have any goblins in play? 1, 2. 2 goblins. Cast the Goblin King. I guess this is as good a time as any to play this Planeswalker. You know what? I don't think we've drawn enough cards yet. Let's sacrifice the Thrall. I probably should have went for an elemental. Whoops. Do a bunch of things. This looks fun. Earth Blighter. I mean, we don't have a way to untap it. You only get 1 a turn, but yeah, let's go to combat. We can poke Delta here. What else we got? Zombies got a mountain, so we can send the mountain walk over there. Send that one over there. I think everyone else is staying put. Oh, we get to make a thing, don't we? Okay, into zombie. I guess the problem that we're running into now here also is that they need to kill our commander before they can play a board wipe because of the damage thing. There's just like a lot of bodies on the board. Mass bounce would be good. That would set us back quite a bit. Something died somewhere. More things happened. Exile the elemental tokens. Unfortunately, that won't trigger our commander. Yeah, it makes it a little less good than I had maybe anticipated. We'll get rid of these mountains. Need to get rid of one more. Let's go all 3 lands. A lot of card draw out there. Feel pretty good that we're going to run into another land. Core Tapper. Put a charge counter on target artifact? Sure. This is a Darksteel Reactor deck. I would love to see that. In fact, if I ever get around to building this, that might be what we do. Might be Darksteel Reactor deck. Puts more counters on that thing, because why not? Up to 5. Who do you have to sacrifice it? Meteor Golem. What do you go for here? There's a few things to choose from. Going for the Tevish stat. Reasonable. If they shot the Font of Mythos, I mean, couldn't blame them for that either. Any of our other stuff, any of these mana makers. Tezzeret. Didn't we already see that Tezzeret? Did it get bounced or something? Oh my god, they just untapped this thing. They're going to make so much extra mana. Luckily, they don't have too much blue, but if they have artifacts, yeah, they can just lay down the artifacts. Elixir of Immortality. Is that it? That's all they got? They on Rift? They have Rift mana? Rite of Replication. Alright, some things are gonna get blown up. Some things are gonna get blown up. The Tezzeret, decent start. The Cage Sun, also a solid choice. Our commander, that's fine. Elemental Mastery gonna go down. Yeah, Elemental Mastery is fine. It's not gonna blow you away in a deck like this, I don't think. But it's fun. It is real fun. Going after both of our mana producers, yeah, that seems like a pretty good idea. That is gonna hurt a bit. Our creatures dying do trigger more things. That one goes down, triggers the Garna. Back to the command zone. Tezzeret down. So, this is a critical point right here. Zombie needs to play a board wipe and blow up this board. Because if our commander comes back in, everyone loses way too much life to do it. Unless this is a Rift. This is a Rift, then all bets are off. But Encroaching Mycosin. Non-land permanents you control are artifacts in addition to their other types. The same is true for permanent spells and non-land permanents you own that aren't on the battlefield. Okay, everything's an artifact. Machine God's Effigy. Copy of any creature on the battlefield, and it has Make a Blue. More Meteor Golems. More Meteor Golems. What do you shoot here? He goes for the Goblin King because he's the only one with mountains. So he's the only one that gets hit by that. Little unfortunate. The Reality Chip. Future Sight. Because what everyone needs is more card draw. Playing this would probably end the game through a series of events. I'll be very sad about losing the treasure mana. Goblin Chieftain, land, and Signet. Lotlet Spider Queen, huh? Haven't really seen this one. Whenever a creature dies, put a loyalty counter on it. Interesting. You get an emblem with whenever an opponent is dealt combat damage by one or more creatures you control, if that player lost less than 8 life this turn, they lose life equal to the difference. What? That's confusing. So less than 8, you double it? Is that my understanding? It's kind of weird. Play this land. That's the easy part of the turn. Are we about to get rifted? That's the question that I have. Let's just play this Snoop and see what happens. It's the land. Play the Signet. To be completely honest, we don't have great attacks anymore. So I guess we play Cardor. This card is brutal. Losing agency of your creatures is the worst. I think this card is a little too strong. I don't care for its place in Commander. It's a little too much. I guess we recast our Commander. Ooh, we don't get rift. Pass like that. Yeah, it's a rift. Oh, that's so brutal. At the end step, we're going to discard so much. Well, a lot of these are tokens, I guess, but losing all the treasures, yeah, that's just a backbreaker. And they're going to shuffle the graveyard back in. Cool. We're going to get absolutely destroyed. Not an aggressive game, so get rid of Force of Despair. Earthblighter seems cool, but we're not going to have time for that, I don't think. So many cards to get rid of. Commander, back to the command zone. Random 2-drop Goblin is fine. Could have played around that better. I actually don't think this is going to be all that great just because you're split, right? There's only so many Goblin cards in the deck. If it was like 30 Goblin cards in the deck, sure. Without looking, I'm guessing it's probably like 15. Maybe we're giving up on this Goblin too. You know, kind of stuck with all the spells and stuff. Doesn't mean there's going to be more Meteor Golems happening though. Light poke into Kana and Zombie. We're at 39. They should probably be attacking us. In a way, that Rift keeps everyone from dying, because with the amount of creatures out there, it's a lot more damage floating back and forth. And then, like, no one has any blockers when it comes back to our turn, so everything just kind of gets cleaned up. Riptide Replicator, huh? There's a spicy one. Upgraded the wizard class. Make a token with the Riptide Replicator. Sure. Got a 3/3 Homerit. Nice. Chromatic Ori is a magic card. Gilded Lotus. Sapphire Medallion. Encroaching Mycosin. Signet. Reality Chip. They would lose quite a bit of mana if we shot that. That might not be a bad idea. Land off the top is helpful. We'll scry one. Arcane Signet will be nice. Keep that on top. Soul Ring. Let's see if we can get our commander and the Bedevil. Why is that so much? Did it die twice? It must have. On 8. Ooh. Which means I think Signet. See if we can get this and the Bedevil. Yep, exactly enough. And we'll minus to make a creature with reach. Never played this one before. Kind of excited about it. Oh, you get 2 of them? Oh, you make 2 of them. Yeah, 2 is much better than 1. Cool. We got some blockers. If I had read that better, would have made that a much easier decision. Oh, wait. Ah, crap. It got to their main phase. Wow. I tried to catch I accidentally F2'd. Ooh, Nykthos. That's even more mana. Although they don't have that many blue permanents, so it's some timetable. It'll be a problem. Tezzeret. Yep. Serum Snare. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. The mana value 3 or less. Proliferate. Interesting. Returning the wizard class. That's trying to draw more cards, I think. Proliferating this up more. Gross. Yep. Proliferate everything. 7 colorless mana. Yeah, I really wanted to shoot that. Zombie Scoops. Doesn't like what's happening. Says he has baby stuff going on. He just had a baby. Or his wife had a baby. Wizard class coming back. Yep. Lux Artillery. Whenever you cast the thing, it gains Sunburst. And even end step, if there are 30 or more counters on it, does 10 damage to each opponent. Oh my god. Is that a new one? I don't even know what set that is. What set is that? And they're going to proliferate. This is nearly at ultimate. And they ultimate it. Okay. Archenemy has been established. Let's see how this deck responds. Let's see how Kana responds. Because the thing we have going for us is that just like, we have Cardor and we have our commander, and both just find ways to do a lot of damage. Everything into the Planeswalker. Wow. Okay. I had dreams of ulting this, but I think this is a lot of damage to soak up. Like, it's not worth using a removal spell. We really need to use the Bedevil on the mana thing. So I guess we just let this soak the damage up. Lose the value. Search your library for a blue permanent. Put it onto the battlefield. Disgusting. Yeah, that could have been prevented probably if we shot the mana rock. I also tried to stop it during their upkeep, and just like there's so much lag between like me clicking the button and it respond. Oh god. Inexorable Tide. See what Kana's got. Sakashima's Student. Meteor Golem. Yeah, that's why I didn't block the Meteor Golem, because I thought there'd be some of this stuff happening. Gonna shoot the Tide. Love it. Vizier. Do it again. What do you shoot this time? This probably seems like a good one. Goes for the Riptide Replicator. Okay. Opponent said they're sad. It always uses the Changeling token on the Riptide Replicator. Yeah. Spark Double. Do it again. So it looks like they're just doing Kami clones, which is it's a cute take on Kami that I haven't seen before. Yeah, shooting the Mana Rock. Okay. We don't even have to use our removal now. Thinking about the Decree of Pain, that's some decent card draw. We don't have like a ton of options at our disposal here. Yeah, I think it's the Decree of Pain. This is a card that with the way treasure mana is now, I would give Decree of Pain another look. Yeah, it's not great on turn 4, but you know, by like turn 6, 7 in a lot of games, you can probably cast Decree, and Decree can just be game winning. It probably won't be here necessarily, but it could give us the tools we need to win the game. But if you like draw 30 with like no max hand size, you're giving yourself a really good opportunity. We draw a bunch. Cabal Coffers is... How many swamps do we have? Not nearly enough. I guess we're going to play it anyway, though. We do catch a couple things. We have 3 swamps, which makes it mana neutral. Unfortunate. We have 4 mana left. What's this one do? That one's okay. Oh, it's a champion a goblin for that one? Nope, that doesn't work. I guess we just play this guy then. Play the Ib Halfheart Goblin Tactician. Delay cards in hand. Not thrilled about that. I would really love to not discard more. We don't seem to have a lot of zombies, so Zombie Master can probably go. Time Reversal. At least that'll shuffle our graveyardings. I don't know that we have great recursion in this deck. That's actually another thing too. So if you're playing a deck that's like trying to line up a bunch of creatures, especially if you're in black, some sort of Mass Recursion, Living Death, Rise of the Dark Realms, any of that stuff. This hand has decent gas in it, and I hope we don't draw into like a bunch of lands and stuff. That would not be great. Not too bad, actually. Leyline of the Void's nice too. This can help us finish if we get some creatures going. Little creature light, Goblin Matron, maybe to find something that makes bodies. Karn Scion of Urza. Oh, it's also gonna brainstorm. Did we never use the Bedevil? I don't think we ever used the Bedevil. Oops. Well, because we tapped out last turn, yeah. I guess that's fine. Oh, we gotta deal with that emblem. That emblem's gonna be a real problem. We're at 22. Yep. Tezzeret Emblem. It does suck that like proliferate decks usually just turn into planeswalkers. Not the most exciting thing to do. So I've been looking at Ashling proliferate. You know, it's just like, well, I guess if you're proliferating, you throw a bunch of red planeswalkers in, because red really doesn't get a lot in the way of +1/+1 counters or other counter type cards. Really isn't all that much. It's kind of disappointing actually, because like there could be. There's not really a reason not to be. What'd they get? Pull from tomorrow. Darksteel Reactor. What did it say? Any permanent? Yep, any permanent. Their artifact, let's see. Darksteel, that's the one I was thinking of. Did I say something else? I don't remember. This is the one I was thinking of, yeah. I always wanted to build the Darksteel Reactor deck. There's a good chance we might see a Darksteel Reactor win today. Rhystic Study, oh god. It's not what you want to see, because we're just about to try and cast a lot of cards. Mirage Mirror. Also, surprisingly annoying card. Someone plays anything big and disgusting. Can copy it for a turn. Mikaeus is a dirty magic card. We get to draw extra with the Kami. The Snoop is back. Play the Swamp. Try to do all this in the best order possible here. Let's get the Frog Tosser Banneret. We'll use the coffers, I guess. Feed that into Signet. Study, not paying. Let's get Mikaeus. Rhystic Study. Oh no, it pumps them up. That's so awkward. Oh, I was going to sacrifice the Goblin Matron. Heuristic Study. This one puts them into your hand. You need bodies. Siege Gang Commander is good at making bodies. I think I'm liking Siege Gang Commander. I really do want to get this ley line in, though. We'll just feed Kana all the cards. Why not? Play the Skull Clamp. They have a Reliquary Tower, so they're not going to have to discard. That is concerning. Send this thing in. See if they want to give us the cards or not. They do not. Oh, no, they do. Yeah, they're going to give us the cards. Okay. There's some extra damage. Undying and Skull Clamp. More lands. 2 swamps is actually important. And we'll pass like that. Dark Steel Reactor. It'll get 2. Then only got 1. Oh, right. You have to proliferate. Right. Okay. Mirage Mirror on the Kami. Okay. I don't know that it works like that, though. They sacrifice the... Weird. Trying to get it out of play? Sacrifice their Mirage Mirror. That was a strange play. It goes into exile. Maybe just trying to draw less. I don't know. Moonsilver Key. Crack it. Cage Sun. Yeah. Not too much blue left this turn, though. Make a 5/5 with Karn. Have a little bit of open mana. They pass. What are they getting? Dictative Crewfix. What? I mean, I assume they're probably just trying to, like, Labman win or something. I don't know. Field of Ruin on the Proliferate land. Okay. They will proliferate in response. Okay. We get that open mana out of the way, which we have to worry about Kana because they have a million cards in hand, but we're in the clear to try to make some plays against Delta. Yeah, proliferate everything before it goes down. 3 on the Dark Steel Reactor. Oh, we get a land. How about that? Make it a swamp. Mana is the thing we need, and we've got the coffers, so that's going to be actually a pretty sizable boost in mana because now coffers is going to be making what? 6? Yeah, I think 6 when we play a land. That's a big jump from where we were. Opponent drawing a lot of cards. Gauntlet of Power. Ooh, they have a lot of open mana. This could get nasty. Ancient Silver Dragon. Which one's this? Draw cards equal to the result. You have no max hand size for the rest of the game. Okay. Yeah, this seems like a Labman deck. Just all the card draw. Rite of Replication on the Ancient Silver Dragon. Okie dokie. Opponent is saying that they would like this game to end kind of soon. Okay. Opponent got their Inexorable Tide back, which is not the best. I guess we can sudden spoiling the dragons, so we can buy a turn there if we really need to. Clone. Make another one. Make another one. Why not? Why not? Doppelganger? Yeah, let's make another one. Why not? We don't have enough Ancient Silver Dragons yet. Importantly, they have now tapped out their mana, and there's not a single counterspell could get us. I guess free counterspells you have to worry about a little bit, but other than that, we're gonna get a pretty good go at it, I think. Earthblighter is back. We're gonna draw a lot of cards. That's a helpful card. Blightstone Ritual can make us the mana we need to potentially win the game. Play the Badlands. Play the Siege Gang Commander. Heuristic Study. Make a bunch of goblins. Play the Battlecry Goblin. Play the Earthblighter. Oh, that one's not a goblin. Whoops. Get the Snoop. Feed the Swarm on top. I think maybe I should have played the Blightstone Ritual sooner. Maybe we're okay. Blightstone Ritual. 9 red mana. Love it. We're gonna sacrifice the... No, we should get our commander first. Is what we should do. We should also use the Cabal Coffers, like a professional. So let's use the Cabal Coffers, get a bunch of black mana into the pool. Try to keep up as much red as we can. Not paying. Opponent has feelings. Thirst for Knowledge. Not the end of the world. It will proliferate, though. Then we Skull Clamp the thing. Ghoul Caller Gisa, a Feed the Swarm, and a Vampiric Tutor. What do we get with Vampiric Tutor that helps us win the game? The mana ones aren't the worst idea. There's not a lot of, like, push to try and win the game here. Zulaport Cutthroat? Perfect. We do need to find something to sacrifice, though. Don't have an easy way to draw, it seems. I guess we could Feed the Swarm something. Maybe we just start sacking stuff. We'll put a Skull Clamp on this token. We will Siege Gang Commander Delta Fiend's face, sacrificing the one with the Skull Clamp. We cannot tap any more lands if we want to leave up Sudden Spoiling. Black Market on top. We have 2 activations of Siege Gang left. The rest we need to hold on to, I think. Okay, what we can do, we can sacrifice the Goblin Matron, which will come back because it has Undying. Use the ability. Get Goblin Recruiter's pretty good. This seems good. That's free sacrificing. Go Goblin Recruiter. That one's super powerful. Does Goblin Bombardment just win the game? Gotta be close. Let's go for it. Both are at 12. I feel like this has to do it. Not you. Oh, this attack's gonna get literal nothing done. I guess it triggers Undying one time, but there's that thing. Could have played that better. We draw a card. Didn't need to draw another card. Undying. Yeah, the attack here wasn't a good idea and may get us killed. Pass and hope for the best. There's not really that many zombie cards in the deck. Energy Chamber. Proliferate. Delta said they're probably gonna remake the deck afterwards. Said it was just kind of boring to them. That happens sometimes. Sometimes you gotta experiment to find out. It's always worth testing it out whenever you can. Oh, that seems good in Proliferate deck. Alright, maybe that's gotta go in Ashling too. Replicating a ring. That deck needs the mana too. Tome of Legends. Decent. What's this one do? Deals damage target player or planeswalker equal to the number of goblins. Oh, that would speed up the process of what we're gonna have to do to, like, try and kill someone here by quite a bit. Angel Heart Vial. Remove 4 counters from it. Gain 2 life, draw a card. Okay. 5 to hardcast is a little much. Oh, whenever you're dealt damage, you may put that many charge counters on. Okay, maybe. I don't know why that's 5, though. 4 and 2 is like a fairly standard artifact costing. Oracle's Vault. What are we in that Darksteel thing? 14. I'm getting there. That's upkeep, right? Yeah. Whenever it has 20 or more on it, you win the game. Oh, we're inching real close here. I don't know that after our misplay, I don't actually know that we have enough damage to kill both of them. 16. Exile the top card of the library, may play it this turn. The land. No harm there. Redraw with the tome. Tezzeret, which will put that to 18. When has 20 or... Yeah, that's like a static? No, I guess must be a triggered ability, but it just like is weird because it kind of just sits there, just waiting to have 20. Untap 2 artifacts. Okay. Pretty good chance they can find another thing to cast. Draw a card. Put a card with Karn into your hand. That's gonna be 20 right there. I'm asking opponents if they want to see the Darksteel Reactor win. Because we can shoot them and kill them, but then we probably die to the dragons. I don't know that we have enough left here to kill everyone. Delta wants the game to end. All right, well, everyone's trying to win, so we're going to try to block this. I am sad about blocking it, because do I want to see the Darksteel Reactor win? Kind of. Yeah, I kind of do, but in the spirit of like playing a game, we will commence the Goblin Bombardment. Sacrifice. Start with the tokens. This gets charge counters on it. Oh, they can gain life. That's actually a problem. Like 2 life might actually be enough to throw us off here. Let's go with the Siege Gang Commander because that's going to bring a bunch of tokens back. We get a bunch more goblins. Angel Heart activates the Angel Heart. They go up 2. Yep. Back to the Goblin Bombardment. This one's got Undying. I'm now thinking we have enough to kill everyone. Yeah, I think we're in the clear here. Start working on I think. Yeah, this is the power of aristocrats. Once you get to like the sack outlet thing late in a game like this, it's just so hard to stop. Down they go. And we've got a few things left here we can sacrifice. And we'll sacrifice this thing. I guess we did have enough. It was close. I was worried we weren't gonna. Down they go. Yeah, aristocrats. Aristocrats are kind of strong. The deck in general, yeah, it's weird. It's a weird deck. I really wasn't feeling the zombie payoffs because like Zombie Master is fine. Like, it's not a card that blows you away. Death Baron is fine. Like, in zombies decks, those cards are reasonable. But, like, with here, they kind of do nothing for a large portion of the game. Like, you really have to hit the combo with this thing, and it's just, like, it's not really enough payoff, right? Like, if you had something big, like, there are some nasty zombie cards out there. Like, was it Noxious Ghoul is, like, super nasty. I don't know if that would, like, work quite the same in a deck like this, but you really need, like, the payoff to be worth it for a card. And, like, more so you'd probably want it on, like, an enchantment, just because creatures tend to get blown up a lot. If you really wanted to make this work, better plan is like, if you didn't want to change it that much, a better plan is just going to be like draw more cards and have mass reanimation. So the early game, you're not doing like that much. You're just trying to like set pieces up. Maybe the board gets wiped a couple times and then like you rise from the Dark Realms and then bring a million things back. And then you might be able to get like some of the zombie payoffs, some of the goblin stuff. But overall, there's just a lot more goblins in the deck. So like I would probably just transition it to like full goblins. And like if you find one really good zombie payoff card that doesn't have a lot of like timing issues involved with it, like it can just like sit in play waiting for the thing to happen. I'd have to look at a zombie list to kind of figure out what that card is, but then maybe I'd probably just do it as like 1 or 2 cards. I wouldn't really kind of go wild with it. You know, as cool as these are, they just like they don't do enough in this deck to really kind of justify their spots. If you wanted to make it as strong as possible, just make it look like every other red-black aristocrats deck ever. You know, that's just a powerful strategy. More sack outlets. If you're doing aristocratsy stuff, you're gonna want like the 3 or 4 main sack outlets. We only really have Goblin Bombardment. You'll definitely want some more of those. It's sort of a question of like, what do you want this deck to be? Right now, it's a bit unfocused. It's a little bit all over the place, and especially like, you know, I added the ramp in there. Imagine where we'd be without Soul Ring and some of the ramp that we caught. I will say that the deck is not well suited to attacking, so I might kind of give up. It is more of an aristocrats deck than anything. Like, it's not a really combat heavy deck, but the fact that it says attacking in the commander, I think can be a little misleading. And sure, you can draw some cards with that, like it can throw some tokens under the bus, but it's not really a great way to get damage in the current setup. And I don't know, like being the dual tribe thing, I think it's going to be kind of hard. If you're a single tribe, you get Door of Destiny, Shared Animosity, Coat of Arms, stuff like that, which is all really cool. So yeah, my general recommendation would be like go down to single tribe, but then it just becomes a goblins deck that looks like all other goblins decks, so that's a concern. Yeah, it's in a tricky spot. And honestly, I think we're gonna have like some conversations offline about it just to kind of see like, where do they want this to go? Like, what do they want this to be? Because like, you know, this card is cool, but you know, if you're trying to do the goblin thing, you're trying to do the zombie thing, this doesn't really fit. If you're just doing like generic tokens, then this is totally fine. And then you bring like Haywire Garrison back in. So I don't know, lots of questions still, but I've given some of my thoughts throughout the game. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.
I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel, vote on which decks I play next, or if you want to get some good games of Spell Table, be sure to check out my Patreon at the link below.